Hello. Are you okay?
What's happening? BankRose, have you heard my music? Are you the best way to promote upcoming artists? Oh my god, man, 30,000 questions, and I didn't even get to. Did you answer any of these yet, Rose?
No, I was waiting for you. I said I don't know if I heard your music. If you can DM me music, or and if I'm free, I'll listen to it. But if you send me music, give me like why, because like a lot of people, I hate when people just hit me with their video, and it's like with no context. Because to me, it's the equivalent of like asking the homeless asking for change. So it's like slightly irritating. Like when people, you know how when people just hit you in your DM with like a video and nothing else?
Yeah, like I'll get live requests all the time and stuff. And then I'll go on the live and I'll be like, fucking stop sending me live requests and leave.
I hate when people include me in group chats like randomly.
Oh, but, yeah, we got invited to one together the other day. That was funny.
Yeah.
What do we got here?
Are videos the best way to promote your upcoming project, as in dropping visuals first and marketing it like that? You can go first.
Go ahead. You can go first, Rose.
Okay. So like music videos, it's very budgetary. So like when you first start, I would have your project done first, because no one's really waiting on your project outside of your group of friends. So you could just let it go, let them listen to it, and then you could push your project by shooting videos and dropping them at a consistent pace. As far as the best, that's budgetary, because it depends on how much money you have. But if you can afford a video every month or every 3 weeks, 2 weeks, do it. But it's more important to be consistent. There's an approach that I like to take is you drop the album, you see which song is the best song, you put more, you get a better quality visual for that one, you drop that one, and then you take some extra money and push that single through Instagram ads or Google ads or dropping it on other platforms or whatever, and get that specific one out to push your single that drives traffic into your project, and then consistently drop singles after that. So that's a good approach, but that's one of many.
Visuals are, especially when you're first starting out, I highly recommend them, because people want to see your face and they want to familiarize themselves with you. They want to know who's singing the track, and if you just have artwork and stuff, people will forget you pretty quick. But if you have a good performance in your music video, people will kind of remember your face and remember what you're all about. A lot of artists you'll see that are like already on the move have artwork drops with music playing in the background, but that's because they can do that. They have have the opportunity to kind of skip a music video sometimes and just drop an artwork video to save some money. And because, they have so many projects dropping that they don't always have time to go shoot a music video and whatnot. But it is a very good way to promote yourself versus just, like what Rose says is great, but like when you're first starting out, I recommend leaving your face on camera first, always.
It'll help. Videos I always say this, videos aren't necessary, but they help immensely. And again, it's budgetary. It's budgetary. So like, again, YouTube, if you're pushing on YouTube, you have to have visuals. If you're pushing on SoundCloud, obviously you don't. But there's more than one way to skin a cat. But I mean, everything now is visual based. It's damn near necessary. There's a huge caveat with that. Like, you should be shooting music videos for sure. It'll be harder for you if you don't, or it'll be slower for you if you don't, I should say.
Heavily agreed. BankRose, where is your studio located?
7 Mile. So 7 Mile in Greenfield, across from the Chase Bank West Side. So 15736 West 7 Mile, Detroit. That's the address. So we're centrally located on the west side for your convenience.
Why do engineers use Pro Tools over Fruity Loops?
Well, Pro Tools is kind of like an industry standard. So like wherever you go in the country, you're going to have Pro Tools. Pro Tools specifically for mixing finished songs, it's just laid out better. Like, there's things that you can do in Pro Tools, like break a section. You could do it like immediately with one hotkey, as opposed to Fruity Loops. It takes, it's like a full 1 minute process. So it's just easier. But at the end of the day, it depends on your situation for using DAWs. But FLs is really good for beats specifically. That's what it's set up for. FLs isn't necessarily set up for full mixes, although you can do it. It's just some things are a pain in the ass in it that are way easier in Pro Tools.
This is Matre asked question. Do you think Detroit will accept a female artist that's rapping on some sexy shit, rapping about sex, no gangster shit?
Yeah.
I see a lot of it. I see a lot of it already. So, and I see a lot of people succeeding off of it, or at least advancing off of just talking about sex and stuff like that. So, I definitely think that it's definitely a way to go if you do it the right way. Some of it can come off as like cringy. So definitely make sure you have somebody that gives you honest output when you release content like that. You don't want to be like a girl that's releasing, like these very vulgar lyrics and all that stuff, but you actually just end up looking cringy and just. I see a lot of artists doing. I've DM'd females that do that, and I'm like, listen, that's not your thing. You're trying to do that.
Yeah.
And that's not your thing.
With sexy shit, it has to come off as, very like, you can't be trying too hard. If you try too hard, it has the reverse effect. But yeah, of course, I mean, sex sells, period. That's damn near the first rule of marketing. So, yeah.
Really, Ray says, if you don't have the money behind you, are y'all willing to work with artists? I definitely like to work with artists if they're very serious. I like to work around budgets. And especially if I really enjoy the person's music, I definitely like to work with them. Sometimes it's hard, if it's a busy schedule, then it's hard to fit in those things sometimes. But if I really look at an artist and I know that they have a lot of potential, then sometimes I will cut them a break with the price.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very about the money right now because that's where I am in my phase. I don't have a lot of free time, like, at all. So right now, for me, it's 100% about the money. If I work with you for an extended period of time and you're serious, then I'll start cutting down the price. But eventually, when I get to a point where my finances are a lot better and I have a lot more free time, then I'm going to start doing shit for artists that have potential, doing some artist development, and maybe some sort of like whatever BankRose like label shit would be with people. I've thought about that, but for me right now, it's just not time.
Should I drop videos or straight music to get a bigger buzz? Should I drop videos or straight music to get a bigger buzz?
So like audio or visual.
Right.
Again,
right.
Visuals help immensely. People want to see your face. That plays into marketing your image. Image, by the way, is like a very fundamental thing with pushing music because people have to buy into your subject matter. And you can prove it through visuals. So, like, it'll take longer through audio, depending on the platform you push it on. If you can't afford videos, then just take some money, drop the audio, pay for a decent cover art. Doesn't have to be amazing, but drop consistently. Just make sure you drop consistently. If you're not dropping visuals, you have to drop audio faster because, it's like you just got to keep throwing shit at the wall and keep people interested. And visuals definitely help keep people interested for a longer period of time.
Yeah, it's easier to circulate them too.
Yeah.
And I feel like music is more flooded. There's more audio clips out there than there are videos just because it's cost effective. So you're gonna get lost in the mix of other people's stuff. Mm-hmm. So with videos, it separates you a little bit because there's like I said, there's less videos and songs out there, just that are by themselves. So visuals definitely help you separate yourself. Man, I was listening to Apple Music the other day, and when you just like plug in a song, and the song you want to listen to, and then all of a sudden, you forget to fucking change the track, and then all of a sudden a bunch of other new songs come on, like that you never even heard. Yeah. Man, I'm fucking with some music that I haven't heard of, bro. Straight up, like there's some music out there that I'm like, holy shit, man. I need to stop fucking being so restricted to my playlist. I need to start searching for new fucking people, man.
Yeah, I mean it's. That's the good thing about YouTube too, low key, or like any like playlist is like when you're searching for shit, the curated playlists do make it really easy to like find shit. But yeah, man, I mean, there's way more dope music than there ever has been. Like I don't really have the time or the patience to funnel through it. But when I stumble across someone that's dope as fuck that I never heard of, it's like a really good feeling, especially like when they kind of are already like getting a buzz but aren't like all the way there yet, but like there's something in there. That's like a really good feeling to catch.
Oh yeah. It's another one. This is Matre. Is it really necessary to get your music mastered?
Mastered is like loudness. So basically, what we do is when you record at our studio, your songs are ready to drop out the door. So we include a good mix and a good master. basically, if the song sounds good, put it out. If you're pushing it for a very extended period of time, maybe pay for an additional master. But it has to sound good. It has to sound good. Otherwise, you're not going to get as many repeat listens if it physically hurts on the ears. But if it already sounds good, and like maybe $100 master would make it sound better, it's all about fans. So is $100 in promotion going to give you more fans than $100 for a cleaner mix? That's the real question. So it's like a point of diminishing returns. I think when you start, as long as it's good enough to release it, and then take that money you would put on a master and pay for promo, or like put it on a video, or maybe throw it towards a feature. I think that's a little more efficient than getting it mastered 100%. There were a couple songs, a couple times where I recorded them in a house and they were on the radio the next day and no one knew. It was with a big artist, but like, yeah, I mean, you know, at this point the technology is so good with recording that, and MP3s kind of killed shit because no one gives a shit about quality. We're living in a time where it's the worst music quality period, so people are sort of like, it's, you know, it's not like 1990, you know what I mean? Or especially like in the 70s where it's expensive to do the shit and everything's on vinyl. It's all shitty MP3. So, you know, yeah.
Vegeta Pink says, how do you go about owning your stage name? The best way to go about owning your stage name is to obviously get great exposure for your name and for your brand, and to keep having people see your name. So that they familiarize themselves with you and who you are. You got to just keep putting your name out there constantly. I mean,
so I think you mean like copyright. Oh yeah, he's not gonna fucking respond. I'm retarded. So like,
wait, is he saying copyright, or is he saying like
copyright? So like, I mean,
okay.
To get,
I mean, that's stupid though, because you can't really do that. I mean, technically you can, but really it's gonna come by like how much clout you have and how big your fan base is, because there's I'm in a band and there's a band that's almost the same name as our band, and it's like there's not much you can really do about it. And like, I mean, you can copyright it, but like, yeah. Listen, it's all about how much how big your fan base is at the end of the day, and how much of them are recognize your name. And if another person comes out with the same name as you, then you kind of got to top them. I mean, because there are bands that have the same fucking names as other bands. That happens. But it doesn't really matter unless you're at an established point where you need to make sure you copyright the name at that point. If it's at a point where you're really big and there's, you know, you don't want anybody else to have your name. But I mean, once you're at that point, what's the point of doing that, you know? Right.
I think so. I'm not an expert with this, but I know there's like two types of like trademarking. One is like a regional thing, and like statewide, and the other is national. It gets pretty expensive. I wouldn't worry about that too much right now. But there is something interesting. Ludacris actually got sued relatively early in his career by another artist named Ludacris, who said he was out first. But I'm pretty sure, look this case up because don't quote me, but I'm pretty sure the judge ruled in like the Ludacris we know's favor, because he was using that name and he had more exposure and more of a buzz and people knew who he was. So look up that case, and I think you could get a lot out of that. I'd have to actually see the details of that, but that has happened before.
Yeah, I would listen to Rose with it. I would listen to Rose over me over that one, just because what I'm trying to say is like, don't worry about that right now. And Rose is pretty much telling you how to actually go about doing it.
Yeah,
but like, I wouldn't fucking worry about it, because like I said, unless you're big enough where, like, you know what I mean, then what's the fucking point? The kind of consists of releasing videos very consistently in the very beginning. And then finding like a good pace to consistently drop after your first month of exposing yourself to the city. So like what I like to do is I like to tell artists, drop 3 videos in the first month that you're out. 3 videos right there. If you have so many unreleased songs, so much unreleased music, hold on releasing all of it until people really fuck with you and know who you are. Then the next month, drop another 2 or 3. And then once you start really getting a buzz and people start knowing who you are, tell me I got a mixtape dropping, and then drop your best songs on that mixtape, and then let people find that mixtape once you got that buzz. But you don't want to drop it when you don't have a following, because then it's just gonna go on. Nobody's gonna fucking hear it, right? So take your time with the shit. Kind of formulate a plan and strategize how you're gonna drop everything.
Yeah, so if you have, let's just say you have 100 songs, that means you have roughly, how many weeks are in a year? 54, 52, somewhere around there?
52.
So 52. So if you have 100 songs, let's just say you have 104 songs for easy math, that means you could drop a song a week for 2 years. So what I would do first is I would listen to your songs. I would put them in categories of, is this releasable? Is the quality good enough to release? Get rid of the songs that you just don't want to release, that are dead. They were in the gym, practice, whatever. Then I would go and I would put them in genres of like, okay, this is like a summer song. This is a love song. This is a, dope selling song, whatever. This one's for the streets. This one's whatever. And then I would take, what you feel are your hottest songs to your worst songs. And then I would start, dropping them at a relatively consistent pace, with the audios. And then take your best ones, shoot visuals for them, and then just kind of keep throwing them in. But you definitely, as far as the songs go, you have enough content for 2 years of just dropping songs, but you have to make sure they're good enough to drop. And then I would not spend any more time in the studio if they're all good. I would use 100% of your income for promoting them. From a purely business standpoint, if you have 100 songs, I'm sure you love being in the studio, but from a purely business standpoint, like if you want to talk supply and demand and product, you have enough product. So I would focus 100% on ad. Makes sense. How much do you charge?
I'm not telling you shit.
Okay.
Well,
you can.
Well, I'm changing my prices. That's why I'm not really talking about it right now. Yeah, everything's changing because I've recently realized that I fucking was totally undercharging, and I was totally just I fucked up, dude. But it's okay. It's okay though. I'm gonna fix it. What's your advice for someone who makes music beats that are different from the Detroit sound? Rose.
You don't have to be stuck in your city. Like the thing that we're talking to you right now, the phone, it put the entire world in your pocket. So you have a lot of opportunity to find artists who you feel would fit. So if you make, let's just say you make like Atlanta style beats and you're in Detroit, what I would do is I would find Atlanta videographers. I would see what artists they're shooting for that don't have a buzz. I would find the dopest ones, and I would send non-exclusive beats. I would DM all of those artists, be like, hey, I fuck with you. Here's a non-exclusive beat. If you want exclusives, they're this, but I'll feed you beats. And if they use them, then continue to feed those people. So just find someone with the sound that you have that'll complement it. But you can do it through Instagram. You could literally right now go hashtag Atlanta rapper and then scoot through, oh, he's dope, boom, DM him. Oh, he's dope, he's trash, he should never rap again, fuck him, boo, and just do it like that. But you don't, you could blow up in your mom's like basement if you hustle, right?
Yeah. I've seen it happen. Rose has seen it happen. We all seen it happen. That shit, man, anything can really happen. It's just, you at the end of the day, you really got to just stay consistent with it. No matter what the plan is there, just stay consistent with it. You know what I mean? Don't overthink every little detail of it. Really what it comes down to is you stay consistent. People fuck with you over time. And, it can happen. Just, you don't have to worry about the Detroit scene or the Atlanta scene or any scene. You stay consistent. You pick a platform, you keep uploading to it. If you use YouTube, be smart about how you caption and how you thumbnail and how you do all that stuff, because that does matter a lot. My thing that I find a lot is somebody will post like T Grizzly type beat or something on YouTube, and I'll like check it out and I'm like, yo, this is actually fucking sick. And then I'll look up the producer and I realize like, yo, this dude has mad talented and he found a way to market himself by using artists' names and just saying it's that type of beat,
Type beats are the way to go, and I'll tell you right now, 95%, no bullshit. 95% of the people who come in my studio, we rip them directly off YouTube with a whoever type beat. So
they're fired, dude. They're fired.
You gotta compete with YouTube. Everyone on YouTube, they're killing the fucking game. It's ridiculous. So that's a really good strategy too. If you have a sound like, Gunna, if you make Gunna type beats, just make a YouTube Gunna type beat, name it, and then, for whatever, free Gunna type beat, Big Blunt's purse chain is the beat name, 2019, and then put it up with Gunna and then keep it pushing.
Yeah, sometimes it's about fishing with the wrong bait, and let me explain that. Like basically, sometimes let's say you don't want to make Detroit beats. Maybe you have a different type of beat, but you're going to fish with a Detroit type beat. And when you reel the customer in, they can see that you have this whole portfolio of all other types of music and other types of beats that might open up their eyes and be like, holy shit, this is sweet ass stuff. So, you know, kind of trick people a little bit. Start off by doing stuff that is popular, and then have your database ready for when people come to see your portfolio. Have it ready where you have your other stuff ready. You know, sometimes you gotta do that shit.
I have a really good cheat for that too. What I would do, if you're really good at making beats, like you can mimic sounds like really well, I would go on WorldStar every day. I would see whatever dropped that day, and I would make whoever artist that is, like if they're a feature, and I'd make that type beat and drop it as quickly as possible. And it'll and you know, because WorldStar is still like sort of the authority of hip hop music videos, and so if you're fast and you're actually that talented where you can listen to a beat and replicate that sound, do that. Yeah. You'll kill
instrumentals too, dude. Like if a song drops by Kodak Black and there's no instrumentals to it, make the fucking instrumentals to it. You know what I mean? Like just get yourself, like I said, fish with what's popular, and then when you reel them in, if they fuck with you, they're gonna fuck with you, man. And your name's gonna spread out anyway by the fact that you made those crazy ass beats that were, you know, they were ripped a little bit, or maybe they have that feel or that sound a little bit. But so what? You got people to the door. You got people looking you up. You know what I mean? Yeah. You got to do that shit sometimes. CODO, should you stick with the same producer and video guy? First of all, what up, G? And then second of all, yeah, man. I mean, for me, loyalty has always been a big thing for me, but I always also did believe that, you know, it's always good to try out different people because everybody has a different flavor. You feel me? Like Rose and RJ Lamont have a different flavor. Like they have different ways that they do things. So you might get a different sound at RJ's studio that you do at Rose. If you shoot with me, you're gonna get a different feel than if you shot with CT Films. So, and then also there's different fan bases that you're gonna be getting exposed to because everybody has their own fan base as well. Mm-hmm. So I agree with that concept as well, as trying everybody out, seeing who fits with your style, seeing who you communicate with the best, seeing who you just feel comfortable collaborating with in general. And then also on top of that, you know, you're gaining multiple different networks of fans. But I also do believe in loyalty too. So there is a point where it's like, yo, I started with Rose, so I'm going to finish with Rose. And Rose looks out for me, and Rose does this for me, and Rose does that for me. And you bring in that person, that business is always a good thing. When somebody is a reoccurring client for me, or a reoccurring, like, you know, like we build that collaboration together, that friendship together, I definitely look extra out for them as we proceed through. 100%. And then if you go shoot with somebody, when you go shoot with somebody else, or you go do something with somebody else, I really personally try not to get offended. I personally try my best to be like, you know what, he's doing what's best for him. I'm not going to get upset about that. It is hard sometimes. Like, you're like, damn, man, like I just shot 6 videos for this dude. I busted my ass for this dude. I did way more than I was supposed to for this dude. And then he went and shot with somebody else. But I do my best to not look at it from a selfish point of view and just go, you know what, they're doing what's best for them.
Right. So there's kind of like, let me say this. If you have a good team, if you have a producer that knows your sound, stick with them. If you have a videographer that works well with you personally in the price and the budget, stay with them. If it's not broken, don't fix it. There's 3 components. It's cost effectiveness, turnover, and then damn, what was the other one? Cost effectiveness, turnover, and then like personality. So if you vibe with them, they're getting your shit out at an appropriate time, and the price is right, then there's no need to go elsewhere other than for trying to get other fan bases. But yeah, I mean, if you have a working system, don't fuck it up. I think a lot of people, they try to find something better than what they already have, and then they don't realize what they have is already good. So just be aware of the situation you're in. Be appreciative of it if it's good, and if it's bad, then go out and change it, and then move tactically when you switch.
You got to remember too that when you're working with one individual, like a producer or videographer, that you're building a chemistry over time. So you guys are kind of understanding what each other's needs are as far as like the production's concerned. So when you build that chemistry over time, there's going to come a point where you guys are going to be like unstoppable together. You feel me? Like there's going to come a point where like you know exactly what visuals to bring to that song that the person showed you. Yep. And you know, that just happens over time. It's just like a basketball team. Like over time, chemistry builds, and then just out of nowhere, it ignites. But if you're getting traded all the time, or if you're moving from team to team all the time, sometimes it's a little bit harder to kind of find somebody that works with you. What are some, wait, hold on, I skipped somebody. Oh no, Cluner. Oh, what are the signs that you're being played? Okay, what are the signs that you're being played and won't be getting something you purchased? In my case, a video from a paid featured artist. A sign that you're getting played. If you get the runaround a lot, I mean, it's pretty much obvious sometimes. If you're not able to get in contact with that person, or if they're making it like a lot of excuses constantly, then you're probably getting played. But sometimes people are just busy or lazy or they're just inconsiderate. So it's not that they're trying to play you. It's just that they're just inconsiderate of your time and inconsiderate of what you're trying to accomplish. So don't work with that person again if they're really giving you the runaround. That's just a lesson you got to learn sometimes.
Yeah, so it's really hard out here because not everyone is about their business, and some people simply do not give a fuck. I've heard stories of people paying for features and never getting the feature ever. So what I would do to sort of deaden that blow is a couple precautions. I would, whatever artist you're looking for, if you can, reach out to someone who paid for a feature already. Like if you go through their catalog and you see another artist that's a feature that seems like they paid for it, reach out to them and see how their actual business was. Don't reach out to the artist directly. Reach out to their management too if they have management. Artists do not give a fuck about what you're talking about. They just want to get high and make music. The managers give a fuck about what you're talking about because they care more about the money a lot of times than these artists. So go through management every time.
What's the deal TV? Give me tips on how to connect with artists to grow this. What's the deal TV brand? Any suggestions? Well, what's the deal TV?
Oh yeah, I know them. It's they're like a Detroit rap news.
Okay.
So
what's the deal?
Yeah, what's the deal, TV? Yeah, so brand suggestions, connect with artists, grow. So I think like if you have a repost page, I would repost the big artists, but do it like 20%. Repost people who don't expect you to repost them, that don't have a name simply off the strength that you think they're dope. Do that en masse. Post them in your story, because if you post in your story, they can repost you way easier. Like if you add me, like let's say you tag me in your story, it's really easy. It drops in my DM and there's a button that says add to story. That's a way easier way, and that'll start circulating you more. Hashtags obviously super work, but you're going to have to, with news pages like that, you're really going to have to post like 10, 20, 30 times a day for real. Like do as much as you can. You're going to have to really just search for dope music that no one's heard. And then, yeah.
I remember when the Hip Hop Lab started and Detroit Rap News started. I was there like when they were first coming off. And I remember when they had like 15, 20,000 followers. I remember when Detroit Rap News was literally just starting. And this is your job now. Some people try to start these like media pages based off of whatever niche, and they think like they could just, I'm just going to post like, T Grizzly dropped the song, DZ dropped the song. Dude, no, you literally have to investigate the scene. Like you have to be constantly looking out for who's hot, who's popping, what's happening in hip hop, who's underground, who just sounds really great that nobody knows about. You're just constantly investigating. Not only are you investigating, you're creating your own news. You're creating your own articles. You're creating stories that don't exist yet. I mean, not based off of nothing, but stories that you can create, just based off of, what your opinion is.
Right.
So it's a constant effort. It's not just reposting stuff. It's a lot of investigation, knowing the community, knowing hip hop at the biggest scale, and knowing hip hop at the underground scale. You have to know both sides of the shit. Yeah. You can't just know one.
If you want to be an authority on what's hot, then you have to find what's hot first. You can't just dick ride. So yeah, exactly what you said. That's actually really good. That's a really, really good insight. Yeah, you're a journalist essentially for the scene. So yeah, you spend a lot of time digging and finding dope people. Maybe do lives like me and Kidell are doing with them, or maybe do like some sort of interview, some sort of paper interview, whatever. But yeah, that's all good advice. Go crazy. Oh, we skipped a question, I guess.
Did we?
I'm on it. Vegeta Pink. Haha. What happens when you have a fire single that's not on the mixtape you're promoting? You want to answer it?
What happens when you have a fire single that's not on the mixtape?
Right.
Well, you still promote it the same way, and then when people search up that single, they go to your mixtape. So find a way to, when you promote that single, for people to know that you have a mixtape out. So that way both of them kind of feed off of each other and you can build both of them together.
Yeah.
You know,
Yep. That's
I
good
mean,
advice.
that's the best you can really do.
Or have your mixtape, push the single, and then exactly what he said. Make people know you have a mixtape because they'll find it if the single is fire anyway. They'll search you on iTunes and Spotify, and your shit will come up anyway. And if you drop everything on your own pages or they type you in and you're there, then they'll find your content. Or you can push that single and then just make sure it's on your next project and then have a head start on your next project.
Yeah. And listen, just like I said the other day, I was listening to Apple Music, and I was listening to a artist I normally listen to, and then it forwarded to another artist that I never heard of before, and I love the song so much that I searched the artist up and I started looking at all her music. Her name was like Katie Bush or something, man. I don't know, man. She had this song, it was dope, and I just kept fucking searching her name. So people, if they fuck with you, even if they fuck with one song, they will dig deeper.
Yeah, for sure.
DJ Truck says, Rose, can I come to the studio and make weird ambient trap beats?
Not right now because it's all studio time right now. Well, I'm just being real. So, like, I do eventually want to have a booth available for rent where you can bring gear and, like, cook up or, like, have people bring their own engineers. I'm not in that place yet. I'm 100% studio time with my people. I don't, because once you start letting people people can't hang out. It's a business. I know that's not what I don't think that's what you're asking. But, it's a business, so people can't really hang out and chill. And then, yeah, I don't trust strangers with my shit. Yeah. But there will be a time. That's the realest answer I could give.
You're gonna have like one of those like you know how they have the video game clubs where they have just a bunch of computers to game on.
Yeah.
You're gonna have it set up where like you have keyboards everywhere and synthesizers everywhere. People just come in and make their own fucking beats.
Yeah,
the music lab.
Yeah, that shit would be dope. I'd have to figure out a way to moderate that. I've thought about that too, where like you have. And I think like the Lofts, there's a place called the Lofts. They do that where they rent it out, and it's just a bunch of rappers and bands, which is hilarious. And they just rent out this. Yeah, they just rent out the spaces. And yeah, that's dope. So one day, but not right now.
R.I.P. John. Yep, R.I.P. John Witherspoon. Man, I grew up watching that motherfucker.
Yeah.
Legend. Man, I used to watch the Wayans Bros like just on repeat. I used to literally just watch that shit on repeat, and he was obviously like one of my favorites. I know a lot of people know him from Friday and stuff, but Wayne's Bros was where it was at for me for watching.
The saddest thing about that is they're rebooting the Boondocks, and now whatever Boondocks they might just be done now because he's gone. Which
I'm sure they have a lot of audio files of him that they can at least use a little bit of. Because even when I forgot who died in South Park when the real guy died. Isaac Hayes.
They did him so bold.
They fucked him up. Well, because he quit before all that anyway.
Yeah.
So they fucked with him, but like when he died, they still they found a way to kind of rekindle it slightly, I guess. Another question we have here is, HK been working. How important are interviews as a new artist? Listen, man, I made a post about this last year and I got my ass whooped for it. But I told people, if you're a new artist, you shouldn't be doing interviews because nobody cares about who you are. And generally speaking, they're going to charge you to do those interviews. And people know that. So it's like embarrassing on that end that you're like paying for an interview that nobody's going to see because you think people care about what's going on in your life when you haven't accomplished anything. People don't watch interviews of people that they don't know or that haven't accomplished anything. I watch interviews of people who've accomplished things, who've succeeded to a decent degree, or have at least done something that is semi-interesting to me, but not because they think that they're onto something or their new big thing. Prove it with your music. Prove it with your work. Prove it with what you have. And then let people ask for an interview. Let people say, yo, I want to see you. But if somebody reaches out to you and says, let me interview you, there's nothing wrong with exposure. It's just like, don't go around paying for it. And that's what a lot of artists do. You go to Hip Hop Lab, man, and you just like search sometimes you'll see an artist, man, they have like one music video out and they're like talking, like they're sitting back with their cup of Celine and all that shit. Like, yeah, bro, you feel me? Like I grew up on 6 Mile and my mama left me. And it's like, bro, nobody gives a fuck, bro. Like everybody has a bad, sad story, but you don't need to be doing interview. You need to be working. You need to be in the studio.
I agree with that. I disagree with no one gives a shit because actually, me personally, I'll watch Vlad not knowing who a person is, or I'll watch like DJ Small Eyes not knowing who a person is, and I'll listen to them talk, and if I like their personality, then I'll listen to their music. I do it the opposite way. So like It depends on who's interviewing you. If the interview is good, the problem with those interviews, like if the interviewer doesn't come with good questions and keep the pace, and the interview is bad, or like your personality is shitty and you're like a one-dimensional person, then no one's gonna give a shit about you. But if you do an interview well and it has a base, then people will watch you. And I only know that because I'm that type of person that'll watch a person on an interview first, and then I'll go look at their shit.
Okay, I see you. That makes sense, man. That makes sense to get to know about the person so that their music is more impactful.
But 100% what you said, don't do interviews if you have one music video out. Like, just don't do that. Like, put a year in of legwork and be consistent and have shit so that if you do an interview and someone does like your character and they do like your story and they buy into you, then they can go check out your music. Because otherwise, it's pointless to do interviews.
Exactly. RR the God. What type of promo should I do before dropping my new album? There's a lot of types of promo you can do before dropping your new album. Music videos are always great. Obviously, artwork is always great. Going out live, meeting people, fan-to-fan basis, hand-to-hand, like just meeting people, like and just doing whatever it takes essentially to get as much exposure as possible with spending the least amount of money as possible. And just using all the resources available so that people can recognize you before it releases. So that way, when it releases, people will go check it out. Just try to think outside of the box, man. Just think outside of the box. Think of a way to promote yourself. And one thing I like that Emilio did. Emilio is a director from Detroit. He's also like a public figure. I think his last name is Cuvez. Like I can't remember, but
I know. Yep.
He goes around the city and he like drops business cards, like Instagram cards with his name on it. He put his name on a billboard.
Yeah, that shit was
His
fun.
face on a billboard. He uploads on YouTube all the time. He just goes and meets people, and he shares his personality with people, and then he tells them to follow on Instagram. So this guy's literally handshake to handshake making new fans, and that's one thing that a lot of people are afraid to do, is to go out in public and actually meet people. A lot of artists that I met in my life that I still fuck with to this day, I met them in person before I met them on Instagram. I shook their hand. I seen their eyes. They told me, hey, my name's, for instance, my boy Kyle Williams. He shook my hand. My name's Kyle Williams, man. I'm about to be performing in this Caribou in a minute. And I'm like, okay, I'll check you out, bro. I'll walk in and, I'm locked in with them for life. You feel me? So, think outside of the box. It's not just about using the social media platforms. It's also about going out and meeting people.
Yeah. So I know you have albums out already. I've listened to your music, and I like your music. It's very it's sort of like, unless you veered away from it, but it's very trippy, spiritual in a sense. So find your market. I think your market is a lot of college kids, I think, would really fuck with your music. I would build a set that is promoting what you have released already, and then playing some songs that are coming on your album to build a little bit of hype, because you do have a body of work. You also do the health shit that will also bring in a different audience, so that's good, because that gives you a side of you. So don't stop doing those if you haven't stopped doing those, or if you have stopped doing those, don't stop doing those, and just keep applying pressure. But it is very watch, rinse, repeat, where it's drop enough songs to keep your old fans engaged, and then keep pushing. Go out, like he said, you can go out to shows, put some money behind some a single, get a feature, you know what I'm saying, for your tape, that kind of shit, and then just do the legwork to keep it going.
Yeah, that's a really good point, actually, too, as well as getting on features it helps a lot. And a lot of people, actually, if you're really patient with features, man, it'll go a long way. For instance, when Baby Tron was coming out, not to release too much of his information, but when Baby Tron was kind of on the move, hitting from 13,000 to 15,000 to series in less than 2 weeks, people knew the guy was on the rise. And his ticket was $300 for a verse in a video. And one of my boys missed that boat. He had the deal ready to go. He just never locked it in officially. And it would have been a great boost. And he could have held on to it until he knew the point where Baby Tron was getting bigger and bigger to drop it at that moment. So with features, especially, if you get a feature for the low, let's say you got Sueno for $500, get the feature done, get it ready, hold on to it until you're ready to promote your mixtape, and then wait for Sueno to kind of, you know, make more moves and blow up a little bit more, and wait for him to drop something fire, and then, you know, you drop your single or your feature at the same time.
Detroit Rap News. Thanks, Detroit Rap News, for all the shit you do for me, for real, because, like, you helped me immensely, and you still do, so I appreciate you. I know I've said it before, but I wanted to say it publicly.
Oh, yeah, Detroit Rap News, straight up G that runs that bitch. Feel like you guys should do interviews. What's wrong about spacing between drops? Okay, hold up. Here's a really good question, actually. What's about the spacing between drops, like timing? I don't want to release at the wrong time. I guess that's what she's trying to say. With spacing is like this. So this is the way I look at it, right? When you're first coming out, you drop as much content as possible in your first month of stepping into the game, okay? Then you're going to feel it out. There is no exact answer. It's trial and error. The first month, you drop 3 videos in a row, you know, week 1, week 2, week 3. Next month, you can drop 1. See your results. See how many people are fucking with you. See how you know, the return on it. Then you're going to start calculating and seeing, okay, I was getting fucked with more when I was dropping more consistently. Oh, no, I'm actually getting fucked with more when I'm dropping less, but I'm dropping more solid tracks. It's trial and error, so there's no exact answer for it. It's really just a formula that every artist has a unique formula from when they decide to drop and how they decide to drop. So it's all about throwing shit at the wall, seeing what sticks, and then just following the formula that you eventually find that works for you. Yeah.
Once you start, don't stop. It's about pacing. Like he said, you don't know what the pacing is. A good middle ground pace is a song every 3 weeks. You know, if you could do a video every 3 weeks, then that's a good pacing. Speed up and slow down, like how he said, trial and error. Just make sure that do not stop. When you start, you cannot stop. That's the most critical thing I can tell you about that.
Yeah, exactly. Again, just like Rose said, just like I said, it's a system that you're going to figure out on your own. There's no exact answer for it, but a basic blueprint again is, you know, drop as much as you can when you first walk into the door, and then start pacing it depending on the response you get after that. Mm-hmm. So no exact answer. Black Yoda 216. I'm a new artist. Like, I just made a couple of songs, a video, and one of them. Can you all use periods and commas and shit, man? God damn it! You know how tired I am right now. I'm barely functioning right now. I feel bad for Rose because how fucked up I am right now. How tired I am. And you guys are giving me these fucked up questions. I'm a new artist. Like, I just made a couple of songs, a video on one of them. The rest of them got a video made from Trill. But how do I get my music out and more viewers on my videos? One thing I really like to do to get more views is to go on bigger platforms. Are in the same niche as me. So Detroit Rap News, the Hip Hop Lab are kind of like Detroit's MTV. So you drop on those, and then you're going to get more exposure, obviously. You figure out which one works better for you, and you keep releasing on them consistently. Save your money. Me and Rose always talk about save your money and reinvest it back into promoting yourself. Yeah. And that's one of the best ways to do it. Another thing to do, dude, if you want a simple answer for like how to get more followers, more views, and more fans, you do features, you network with other artists, other producers, other videographers, other vendors. You know, you put your music on platforms, you network with as many people as you can possibly, and you just really work on your craft to make sure that you stand out and that you're really good. If you are really good and you stay consistent, naturally you will build a following. Yeah. But you're gonna always have to incorporate the steps of networking. It's very rare that you're gonna just be, even if you are insanely good at making music, you're still gonna have to network. It's very rare to find people that were insanely good but stayed away from everybody. Like, I'm not gonna respond to any comment. Yeah, exactly. It's very hard to do it, man. I mean, and I wouldn't even want to go about that approach anyway, man. I feel like, you know, the old story of like people selling CDs out of their vans and stuff. That's not just like, it's not just about the sale at that point. It's also about like, yo, I was literally handing hand to hand. I was handing my CD to another dude who said he fucked with me and wanted to like see what I was all about. And that experience there builds the fan base. That's how you build your fan base one by one. Yeah. When I first started my video page and I shot ape shit, I seriously had like 200 or 300 messages in my inbox of people telling me they fuck with me. And I would just respond to each person like, bro, yo, man, I appreciate you, bro. Like, I love that. And I really did. So it's really, really about one person per one person per one person of just building a fan base.
Fan to fan. Exactly what you
Fan
said.
to fan.
Exactly what you said. Fan to fan. Be consistent. Always have new content. Drop consistently. Fan to fan. Whatever. It's marketing. All marketing is who likes this? What are they looking at? How do I get in front of it?
Exactly, man.
Pure and simple. So wash, rinse, repeat. Fan to fan. Keep giving content for the people who already bought into you so they don't leave. And then promote so you can get new eyes. And it takes a long time, a severe amount of patience. Your first year, your first 2 years, you will not see results like you think you're going to see, but there's an exponential slope up. Once you hit a certain point, 1 turns to 2 to 4 to 8 to 16. I do this every live. Multiply, 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 and then 100,000 turns into 200,000, turns into 400,000, turns into 800,000, and that's really how that works.
There's that meme where like there's two guys digging, and one of them is like about to reach a huge diamond, and he just stops right before he gets to it. And that's the whole thing. Like for years, you're going to be going through that tunnel trying to get to the fucking diamond, and right when you're about to turn away, that's when shit pops off normally. And that's that moment where you have to say, you know what, I'm going to keep pushing. And for some reason, it just always fucking works out. It's because you built your own. You built your fan base, slowly. And on top of that, you found yourself as an artist or whatever you're doing. You found yourself and you figured out your rhythm. It took you 3 years to figure out your rhythm, maybe. And now people are like, holy shit, this guy is fucking sweet and he's found himself and he knows who he is. And that's why I respect him more. And then the new fans come and they go, oh, this guy already knows who he is and I fuck with him. And, it's not just about fans. It's about you finding out who you are as an artist as well. And that takes a long time. It's not just going to happen. A lot of people think they know who they are, but they're really as lost as they can possibly be in that moment. It takes them a while sometimes to figure out what the real deal is.
100%. Next.
Well, we fucking got, goddammit. Too much. I mean, once. Come on, what's up? We barely got time left, but we got at least one more question. I think we're about to get cut off, Rose.
Yeah, we're gonna get cut off relatively soon. Top 3 networking sources. I think you mean like pages, like Instagram pages. It depends. It depends on your budget, and it depends on your market. Say Cheese is really good nationally on Instagram. Detroit Rap News, really good. Detroit Music, period. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. For an artist with a specific style, sorry, your question keeps disappearing. For an artist with a specific style, how do I keep all of my music from sounding the same? How do I keep my fans interested? My favorite thing that I've ever learned, because I used to go to a lot of seminars with a lot of entertainers, people who were previously successful in the comedy industry or even in the film industry. The biggest thing they always talk about is always writing. Every night they write like it's their job. And if you come to a point where you do feel like you're sounding the same, you might just go see some new influences. Maybe go sample some new sounds. Go try to see somebody that you never even heard of before and try to see if there's some type of music or some type of thing that inspires you in a different way. Because everything that's in our mind and our imagination is from things that we've experienced in the past, right? So sometimes you have to bring new experiences to light in order to create, maybe a new vision or a new imagination of things. So that's sometimes why people kind of get locked in the same type of style all the time. It's because your influence has been the same all your life. So switch it up a little bit, sample new things, but also write, always keep every night, write a new idea. Even if you have to force yourself, write something new. Or if you're in the studio, force yourself to try something new. You have to sometimes. That's the only way you can kind of break out of your own box.
Yeah, that's a really fucking good answer. As you progress too, as a person, you have to, you grow as a person. So definitely put your life as you grow into your music. Collaborate with people. You normally wouldn't collaborate with, to get other people's influences in there too. But you damn near had a perfect answer anyway. So.
No, that's actually a really good point. When you work with other people that are creatives as well, that helps a lot too. That's actually something I totally missed there. That helps me. I've been in that situation where like I'll be stuck in a rut, and then somebody will just say an idea, and I'll be, "What? That's fucking brilliant!" And it kind of shakes my whole head up and kind of gives me a new outlook on the imaginative part of my brain. So I hope that helps. Clay Defoe, how do you avoid getting scammed on promos? This just happened to me yesterday. Scammed on promos, I don't know what you mean exactly, but I'm assuming you paid for a promotion and you didn't get it, I'm assuming. Mm-hmm. So sometimes what I like to do is, first of all, see if it's a reputable business always. Try to, pay half and half if you can. That's a good way to not get screwed over. Or sometimes you say, hey, listen, this is my favorite thing to do. If I ever have to pay for promotion and I totally don't know the person, this is what I do. I say, hey, listen, man, I'll give you the 150 or the 300 or whatever you want to promote this, and I'll pay it to you once you upload it. And once I see that it's up there, or I'll be like, I'll pay half now when you first upload it, and then the other half when the time for it to be deleted is or whatever, like in the future, like a day later or whatever. Because you're gonna get screwed over, man. That's the thing. Like, listen, when it comes to money, you're gonna get screwed over. It's gonna happen to you. I've been screwed over so many times with money, man. Like it's a joke. It's gonna happen all the fucking time. People are gonna do shit. It's gonna blow your mind, and you're just gonna have to take the loss and just say, I'm not gonna work with that person again. Yeah. You will eventually find the credible people. It's gonna happen, and then you're gonna stick with them. But you have to go through the bullshit first.
Yeah, once you find good promotion that works and they do good business, stick with them. Yeah, whenever you do that, just pay. The way I look at getting scammed is, okay, I paid $50 to know that he's a piece of shit. That's worth $50. That's worth $50 to me. And then, here's better advice. If you see what they're promoting on their page, like if it's artists that have paid, reach out to those artists and ask them, did you pay for this? How long did it take? Well, first say, I'm trying to do business with this person. I'm going to pay them. Did you pay them? When did you pay them? How long did it take? And find people who have already shopped with them. If you can't find people who shop with them, don't fuck with it, generally speaking.
Oh yeah, dude. I always look to see who's following who when I'm paying somebody for something, and if I don't see people I know, sometimes I'm like, I gotta be
around too.
And then Denisa says, or sign well, you can't sign a contract in Detroit. What are you gonna do? Oh yeah, hey, Detroit Rap News, man. With that $300, man, you want to put this on paper? What are you gonna do? That's not how Detroit works. There is no contracts in Detroit.
Oh, here's the thing about followers. My bad. I didn't mean to cut you up, but he made a really good point. He said he was blinded by the 400,000 following. Okay, do not.
Oh, dude, that's all bullshit, man.
That's all the followers. Look at engagement. I have like 7,500 followers, but if I post like a selfie picture, then I'll get like 40 comments. That's pretty high engagement. Or like the following, the views have to match. The views, actually, comments are the best ones. Look at the comments. People buy comments, people buy views, but look at the comments and make sure people are actually engaging with what the post is. The follower count really means nothing. You post your shit, you got 13K, and you get 5,000 views on your shit and a lot of like real engagement on your shit. So you have to pay attention to the post, what the post is, who's commenting. It's about engagement. It's not about followers. Fuck followers, period.
And that's a great point. Like, even if you look at my page, I think I have like 13.7 whatever the hell followers. And again, like, the reason I think people have a lot of respect from my page and whatnot is because it's all people from, it's all genuine. It's all people from the city. So when I get 80 comments on a video versus somebody who got 300 and they were all paid for, obviously it's like it's what the fuck? Why the fuck would you want 300 fake comments? Why the fuck? And listen, man, that's gonna happen a lot. People are gonna message you, be like, "Yo, bro, upload with me, $50. I have 300,000 followers," but you don't realize that all that shit's fake. It's not hard to figure it out, though, dude. You just click, their fucking views, and it shows you if they have followers in like Zimbabwe and shit. It's not real. It's not. It's just do some investigation. Do some research. I'm sorry, by the way, guys. I'm so fucking tired. That's why I'm mumbling and stumbling right now. I'm super fucking out of it. So today's not my day.
Brielle did not hit me up after you tagged me, but I greatly appreciate the love. I had to. She tagged me in a post.
Why do people pay for followers when, if you're smart, you can see engagement and shit? Well, I mean, people buy followers because Rose brought it up last time we talked. Basically, when somebody new finds you, if they see that you have 500,000 subscribers or followers, they're going to check you out because they think you have credibility.
Right.
So then what they assume you're going to do is follow them, and then they just gained one genuine follower. So
Right.
now eventually they're going to delete all those fake followers in the future once they gained enough real followers. How are they going to figure out who's real and fake? I have no fucking clue, dude. That's not something I understand.
Yeah,
I think what
so-
they do is they follow
bad.
back the person that they know. I think what they do is they follow back the person that they know is a genuine follower. So that's why they'll have like 8,000. They follow like 8,000 people, and then that's how they keep track of who's real and who's not. Because then when it's time to remove all the fake followers, they go like, okay, now I'm gonna just keep everybody who I follow, but delete everybody else. That's what I'm assuming they're fucking doing.
Yeah, I mean, it's the fake it till you make it mentality. It's social credibility. I buy all these fake followers so people see that I have all these followers, so that they follow me because there's social credibility. To me, I mean, you could fake it till you make it like that. To me, the gains don't outweigh the negatives. Like one, you get at risk for getting your account banned. Two, when people find you out, you're obviously a cornball. Because I see people, when I see people with fake followers, I'll go to their engagement and I'm like, how do you have 400,000 followers and like 100 likes? Like, that doesn't make any fucking sense. You're a piece of shit. And then I laugh and laugh and laugh, and then I call them a piece of shit again and leave. And then, and it also fucks up your analytics. Like, you want your analytics. Like, I know my analytics a lot. On Instagram, for example, I have 70% men, 30% women, 18 to 25. Your 18 to 25-year-old men follow me the most. And I know that it's for my speeches. And that's good because now I know my audience and what I'm saying appeals to them. So now I know if I have an 18 to 25-year-old male fan base, I can start making more content geared towards what they like. You need to know who your market is. On YouTube, we actually have the opposite. We have like 80% of our subscribers are female, and it's simply because Vindictive hit so crazy on our page that all of our followers are from that video for Rocky. So they're all Rocky followers. So females will do better on my page because they're there for that content. So you need to know you need to know your analytics. You need to know who's watching your shit. And if you, like you said, you have 1 million people from Zimbabwe, you know what I'm saying? It's not going to help you.
So avoid being a loser. Don't buy users. Okay, CODO, should you come in the game with a team, people willing to work, or come solo? Should you come in the game with a team of people willing to work, or come solo? I mean, it doesn't. For me, it's like this, man. If you have the right team, two heads are always better than one. Coming solo, if it works, it works. If it works, it works. That's how I always looked at it. If I need a team, or if the team works, I'm with the team. If going solo works, I'll do a solo. You feel me? Like, it just depends on what's happening. For instance, I'm in a band. I play in a rock band. I want these guys with me. I love the guys who are with me. Shout out Avatar Mode. Go follow Avatar Mode. That's AVATAR Mode.
Send me some of your music if you recorded something.
No.
When you start, people only care about what you're doing. They don't care about what the plan is. They don't care about the vision. You have a vision. It's your vision. Do not expect other people to see it. It's for you. Action creates followers. When you have a vision and you do it and you start going and people start seeing results, they will automatically attach to you. Now, what you do is, instead of them just hanging out, getting fucked up, and being in the pictures, you give them a job. You're like, okay, you want to be around? Take all my pictures. You want to be around? You start making me beats. You start giving people jobs. Because action is the only thing that matters. Period. So move like you don't need anybody. Work like you don't need anybody. And then the team will build around you. And then it's up to you to do boss shit. Get rid of people when they don't belong. Make them work. Set the goal.
When we upload this to YouTube, keep what Rose just said here on repeat. Because if you really want to know how to succeed, it really is about always moving, even if everybody else isn't moving. That's really what I just got out of what you just said. Like, you always have to be moving forward, no matter what's happening around you.
It's not your job to pull people towards you. It's their job to climb up with you. Holding a hand back, if it's the wrong person, they'll just drop you down.
And see, JJ the Realist 313 just said, my team's slacking and it's hard to take off. I'm the only one taking this seriously. And just listen to what Rose just said. For real. Like, that is the key no matter what. You keep moving. Don't wait for anybody else. Never, man, that's the biggest mistake I used to make when I used to have so many, like, when I was younger, man, I had like a group of dudes I worked with, and like people would be slacking, and then I'd be like, oh, well, we can't work today because those dudes are slacking. Then I got in a different band, and I would be like, oh, well, we can't work today because those dudes are. Then I just realized, dude, no matter what's happening, I got to keep fucking working. No matter, I don't give a fuck what's happening. And if they take a back seat, just keep moving forward. If there's no way out of your commitment with them, just keep moving fucking forward. It doesn't make a difference. You cannot sit there and blame anybody for why you're not moving forward. You can't say my team's holding you back. They do your own thing then. You feel me? Like, just keep moving forward. Yeah. Now, here's a thing, though. Here's a thing me and my band, when we got together, we talked about. There's going to be certain moments where somebody's going to have to take a back seat because they're busy with their life shit. So the team's going to have to carry that load for a little bit. Yeah. But it can't be forever. It can't be forever. It can't be like, yo, man, college and work's fucking me over, so can you guys take over the extra duties? Okay, we can do that for like a month or two. But we're not gonna fucking do it for the whole run here. But it is understandable when people have to take a back seat. But those back seats should be temporary, and everybody should have a turn with that because everybody's gonna have something going on where they're gonna need a break if it's a team commitment.